Hello friends, welcome back. So this is, I guess, the middle point, right? We're at the third live stream of the day, going through the September to December mini catalog and the September release of the online exclusives. So we have looked at the quick and easy mix and match crafting from the beginning of the catalog. We've gone through the suites in the catalog, and now we're going to kind of jump around a bit and look at the scrapbooking options. So I'm a little bummed that I didn't pay better attention to the word scramble posting. That file should not have saved both the game and the answers, but it did. So I hope you had a little fun with that in any way. I didn't want it to be, anyway, you live and learn. So I had fun creating them, and I hope you've had a little fun playing with them, however you played them. It's all about having fun, right? So I'm sitting down for this live stream. We'll see how well that works for me. I may switch it up for the next one. But the scrapbooking portion of the mini catalog, I feel like needs a little explaining, right? Explaining. Oh my gosh. Explaining. We talk a lot about the coordination of Stampin' Up! Products, and it's no different in the scrapbooking offering. Now that seems like we had a period of time when we really didn't have a scrapbooking offering, and we missed it, right? So when Close to My Heart closed their doors a little over a year ago, Stampin' Up! Had an opportunity to not only welcome their makers into our demonstratorship, but also expand our scrapbooking line to maybe fill the void somewhat from what Close to My Heart had been offering, and coordinate that with some of the traditional card making products that Stampin' Up! Has had. Close to My Heart and Stampin' Up! Represented between the two, had a great offering of all of paper crafting, right? But when they were separate, then there was no coordination between the full product lines, right? Or it was lesser, so maybe you had to do more on your own. And with the new offering, it's been very exciting to see the expanded opportunities that we've had, whether we are paper crafters, we are scrapbookers, or we are both. It's a very exciting place to be. So I'm trying to figure out where my starting point is. I'll try to remember to come back to that. I'm going to switch cameras and show you where we're going. All right, so we're going back to page 8 is where we're starting, right? The first scrapbooking workshop kit in the mini catalog is called Keeping Traditions. Does that sound familiar? Well, it probably does, because you might recall that the first suite we looked at was called Keeping, oops, sorry, I skipped ahead too far. Don't mind me. I knew I would do it. The first suite we looked at, starting on page 21, is called Traditions of Christmas. And it's that mega suite, right? It has the 2 bundles, the embossing folder, the blingy discs, the red ribbon, and then this beautiful paper that has the gold foil accents. So keep that in the back of your mind while we look at the Keeping Traditions workshopping. Maybe I should stop. Keeping Traditions Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. I need an acronym. SWK. Can I say that? I don't even know. Anyway, The scrapbooking workshop kits, they're not always the same price, but they always include what you need, the supplies you need to create the three 2-page spreads as they are designed in the kit. There's no stamping in the kit generally, but there are some techniques that you use along the way. So I have this kit. These, what you see here, these 2-page spreads, these represent the designs as they are, right? Can I say that? Yes. So these are the designs of the pages. Try that one more time. These are images of created pages following the instructions of the kit. This is as the kit was laid out, right? So let's look at what's in the kit. And immediately I show you something else, right? So the first thing you'll notice is the glossy color instruction booklet. And this is a very thorough guide for your scrapbooking. It starts with how to cut the paper that is included in your kit, because you've got these 12 by 12 designer series paper. Okay, you've got pattern paper. You have bases for your spreads, and you have two-tone cardstock to go along with it. So with each piece of paper that you need to cut, you have a cutting diagram, and it tells you which page should be facing you, which should be facing down. If the paper has a directional pattern, it tells you which way to put that directional pattern, and then where to make your first cut. That's important because if I had cut here, for example, I would have lost this 4 by 12 piece that I need for here. So you pay attention to where you make your first cut. These numbers guide you as to which project that paper goes with, right? You can even take a pencil and perhaps write on the back of it which, the number, right? The letter and the number that corresponds with it. So it gives you everything you need to make all of those cutting decisions to make this as it's designed. Now, I'm kind of a rule follower, and I like having these. I have been making these workshop kits pretty much as they're designed, and I have a couple in my backlog, but I've completed, since Stampin' Up! Began this offering, I've completed this entire album and then some, right? So, so that's just in a year's time that those have been the offerings, and that's what I've done. That doesn't include the virtual album retreat from July, which we'll get to. All right, once you've done your cutting and your sorting, you get to the pages, the color pages that are all about the assembly. Marshall brought me a Fresca. It's his fault. You have one that is the image, the completed image, and then down below it you have some guides so that if you are not an eyeball kind of person, you want to actually measure the distance, the placement. This bottom image will help you with that, and then there are some instructions to go along with it. If there is a technique, that is explained on these pages as well. So here you get the left page, the right page for the first project, the left and right for the second, and then the left and right for the third. You also get some guides on what materials do you need, right? You'll need some adhesive, and you might need multiple kinds of adhesive. Your trimmer, it'll tell you that if you want to add some ink, that we're using the old olive stamp pad as in some of our techniques here. as well as a wink of Stella. Hey, who's up for some wink of Stella? Absolutely. And then these layouts are going to make room, if you will, for a certain size and direction of photo. And it tells you that for the first project, you're going to need 3 3x3s, 2 4x6 photos that are landscaped, and then so on and so forth for that. Okay, so that's just the directions. So extremely thorough. You do not have to be a veteran, seasoned scrapbooker to follow along. Let's talk about the other components in the kit. So you get the placeholders that correspond to the photos that have been included. You know, the photo placeholders for the photo layout as designed, right? And they tell you this is 4x6, this is 3x4, and these are 3x3. Then you get the paper, designer series paper. You'll get die cuts and two-tone cardstock in here. So this paper looks a bit familiar, right? Looks, because it coordinates with the Keeping Traditions. That's not what the suite is called, but it coordinates with that mega suite, right? So here are the papers that you're going to use in your scrapbook page, scrapbook layouts. They're not always the same. In fact, you won't always have the same patterns. The designer series paper in the suite, the product suite, has gold foil accents. The paper in the scrapbooking kit does not. Sometimes the patterns are a little different. And then you have some exclusive papers to the kit, right? So this is going to be the backdrop for 2 of your pages. That looks a lot like that card, the very first card I showed you in the catalog that had the stamped background, and then it had the leaves of holly. So yeah, and this is only going to be one-sided because it's the back of your page. But you've got those 4 pages that are exclusive. I'm going to set this aside for a second. You have two-tone cardstock that coordinates. What is two-tone cardstock? Two-tone cardstock has a dark side and a light side, and it's a little difficult to see maybe here, but you don't always have 2 pages. Like that just had a single. This has a single page of Pool Party, which you can see. The two-tone cardstock is something that close to my heart carried that Stampin' Up! Did not. It has a white core, so when you tear this cardstock, you get a white core that's visible versus our the Stampin' Up! Traditional cardstock is a dyed through, and it has a the core is the same color as the outside, where these are printed, and they have, so I've got two sheets here. You can see the light and the dark. You can choose what you want to use for your designs, of course, and we've got some white willow here as well. And then we have these die cuts, these punch outs, right, to decorate our pages. We have some labels, some flags, a couple of journal boxes, these large labels for titles, some decorative edges. And guys, these are super cool because on the back side, we label where you're going to use them. This is project 2, this is project 1, project 2, 1, 2, 3. So you know when you're sorting. So that's the first thing you do. You cut your paper, your cardstock, and sort it out. Then you sort out your die cuts as well, and then you're ready to start assembling. As you work through the assembly, you'll have your techniques that you're going to work on, and then you have also these stickers. Right? These are heavy stickers, got a lot of stick to them, a lot of adhesive. They're not going anywhere. I need need to get this in the frame a little better perhaps. If you, and a lot of my scrapbook pages, I don't put these flat down. I will remove some of the sticky with an embossing buddy, and then I'll use dimensionals to give this a little pickup, if you will. But how about this? Is awesome. How about a whole countdown for Christmas? Use this sticker sheet so differently. So many possibilities. So this is keeping traditions, but wait, there's a little bit more. Okay, so that's all the scrapbooking workshop kit that you'll see on pages 8 and 9. And I want to see if I can get this a little bit back. It comes in a Ziploc bag, which is amazing for keeping all of your pieces together as you go along. Okay. So that's what you see here, pages 8 and 9. But if we flip forward to pages 44 and 45, and remember, and we've got the suite in the middle with those other stamp sets and dies and paper and embellishments, right? But if we jump forward to pages 44 and 45, we have some more coordinating product. And we have another design layout in addition to what we saw before. Now we have a Keeping Traditions stamp set. Now, does this scream scrapbooking to you? Absolutely not. But it has some really cool parts of it that are used, okay? Make Merry, this big Christmas title, a few numbers, key dates, this little postage stamp, and some greetings. December documented. So here's a header for a journaling box, perhaps. If you notice on the layout that they've included, they have done some background stamping here. Great technique with this stamp set. There's also more two-tone cardstock. So our two-tone cardstock is sold in packs, single packs of a color, right? If you want a variety, a multi-pack, then you need to turn to your scrapbooking from scratch section to find the variety packs of two-tone cardstock. It's a big investment to buy all the colors at once. You know, why not buy the colors as you might need them? Remember, this is all the traditional colors of Christmas right here. So we have Real Red, we have Cherry Cobbler, we have Secret Sea, Pool Party, White, and Old Olive in that beautiful 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock. You get 2 sheets of each in this multi-pack, right? Love that. You can also get more of that designer series paper that was in the workshop kit. You can get in a pack with the sticker sheet, so you can have additional stickers to continue your fun. Now remember, these are the designer series papers as they are in the workshop kit. These are not the gold foil ones, but mix and match, guys. Buy another pack of the designer series paper, or buy a pack of the designer series paper and use that in your scrapbooking. Use this in your card making. Last year, one of the first workshop kits that was introduced was a Halloween kit, and it had a coordinating stamp set with the kit, coordinating stamp set for that kit that was called Halloween Memories. I love Halloween. I have a ball with Halloween. Now, to me, this all looks like Halloween titles. So if you're not a scrapbooker, you probably wouldn't buy this stamp set, and that's fine, but look at this card I made with it. I think this is adorable. Almost entirely from this stamp set. just different colors. The designer series paper that's behind, that makes the layer, is from the scrapbooking workshop kit. I'm not going to say that. So I'm not, and of course I case this. I'm not that great at thinking outside the box, but that's the reason I share it with you, is to help you see the other possibilities as well. So if you are a card maker and not a scrapbooker, that's okay, but that doesn't mean these products aren't for you. This gorgeous Christmas title, man, that would be amazing on a card. And look, guys, look how large this is. Where's my ruler? Where is my ruler? So that Christmas is 4¼ inches wide and 1¼ inch tall. That's an amazing thing to use on your card. So I think that's huge, huge, huge. I'm not alone. I can't possibly be alone. I'm not that abnormal. Just a little. So there's another one, another scrapbooking workshop kit in the mini catalog, and it is Peaceful Days, which corresponds with the Peaceful Garden Suite collection. And I'm going the wrong way, darn it, again. Start up front with the workshop kit. Darn, just totally jumped the gun there, right? So remember, I told you when we looked at the suite that it looked like I didn't purchase anything that went along with it, and that's not the case. During the pre-order, I was able to purchase the workshop kit. So I got the kit with some of that beautiful paper. Stick that over there for a few minutes. Okay, so what's in this kit? So here are the spreads with this kit, all the same colors that you saw in the suite, right? And it has these beautiful spreads, these beautiful blues. Let's just take it out. So here's our instructions, right? Just like the others, the cutting guides. You need a trimmer for that. A two-tone cardstock, and see here you can see it's not really going to make a difference here in the two-tone cardstock, but they do show you the light and the dark, and then they will reference which side they have up, if that matters to you, or at least be consistent. So then let's take a look. Here is the designer series paper. These beautiful colors and patterns. Looks very familiar, right? And it should. And remember, it's not a given. They're not always going to be the same. They may even be different. The back side, they may have one side in common with the designer series paper in the suite, but not both. Coordination is the name of the game here. Oh, I went too far. Oh, that is just stunning, isn't it? Okay, then you get some two-tone cardstock. So we've got some secrets. Nope, I lied. This is going to be the base, so this is exclusive. This Secret C is an exclusive background for the kit. Then this is going to be an exclusive background for the kit. On one side, one page. And now we get into the two-tone cardstock. And we have, so it looks like we have cloud cover, pecan pie, and crumb cake. So 5 sheets of two-tone cardstock with this. And then we have some large die cuts. Look at these, and some journal boxes These are beautiful. Remember the labels on the back to help guide us. We have our photo placeholders, and we have a sheet of stickers. So much color here. I don't know that that picks up, but they're just gorgeous. Flip over. So that is the workshop kit. But it has additional pieces as well. So remember, it's also going to coordinate with the suite, that glimmer paper, the ribbon, the embellishments, and then when we see, I got the glimmer paper and the ribbon when I got my workshop kit. That's all page 1011 is the workshop kit. Then remember the suite, and then jump ahead to the scrapbooking from scratch section, page 46 and 47, and now you have another page layout. You have a stamp set. I love this tab. One of the things that we learned in the virtual album retreat was how to make pockets, how to slice our pocket protector, page protector open so that that pocket could be interactive even when this was in an album. So this tab, and it's floral. So this is nothing that screams Christmas about it. My happy place is wherever I'm with you. These are the good days. So yeah, so much. They're photopolymer stamps, good size. So 90% size here. And then again, two-tone, a pack of two-tone cardstock to add on. And this time, the two-tone cardstock has 2 sheets each of Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, Misty Moonlight, Pecan Pie, Crumb Cake, and 2 sheets of White Willow. White Willow is not two-tone, but you get the size of the cardstock. So you can see all these beautiful neutrals. These are the light sides, and then here are the dark sides. Down here, or there's that Secret Sea, Pecan Pie, Misty Moonlight, Crumb Cake, and then Cloud Cover. This beautiful color Cloud Cover. So pretty amazing there. Couple of announcements that I don't think are in what I've shown you so far. In July, Stampin' Up! Had its first ever virtual album retreat. And as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and customer, we didn't know what to expect. The close to my heart makers, new Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, were telling us how amazing it was going to be, but we really had a hard time wrapping our head around it. So I did a video and I shared with you my kit as it came, right? $250 worth of was the price. That was my ticket to participate in the event. The event ran for 3 days. Started like 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central, and then went until 10 or 11 at night. So this summer, this first one, I actually had to be out of town and wasn't able to participate every day like I would have wanted. Next year I'll be sure I take the days off, and maybe I can host an event and have people do this with me. The videos, of course, were broadcast initially in this private Facebook group. Now they've been moved to YouTube, so that if you didn't finish up your pages, you can go back and watch over and over again. that event was so much fun, and the retreat is still available. You can still make that purchase for $250. You have the videos on YouTube that you can follow along with. They're amazing. They were led by Sarah, led some, Corey Hancock led some, Karen Peterson came from Close to My Heart, she led some, and then there was a guest presenter each day as well. So tons of fun to be had. And I'm just going to pull out my box and show you a little bit of that, because I have a little bit of time. So mine is still in my box. It's still a work in progress. I don't know how heavy this box is, but it's heavy. And let's see how I have this organized. So they gave us, all the cutting was done for us, right? But like preparing the, oh dadgum, I'll get it out in a minute. We had a document of what additional supplies we might need or that were suggested. We received page protectors for our pages. We had a sheet of, these were our titles, right? So this was a year at a glance. So the titles were the days of the month. I mean, each month, right, had a black, really sturdy chipboard title. Then there were 2 double stamp sets, right? 2 double, can I say that? Let me see, stamps, right? Ouch. So there was well actually I guess it's 2 stamps, but they each had 2 sheets of, so there was the month by month, and then there was an alphabet. These were amazing. We will use these again and again and again. They had seasons, they had, you know, all kinds of little decorations, and we used these on our pages as we went along. Those are exclusive. They're not available outside of this album retreat. We had embellishments. We had twine, baker's twine. Where are you? There, the white baker's twine. And then I'm trying to get to some of the pages that I've done. Where? See, the ones I haven't done are kind of on the top. But I want to show you like some of the techniques that I mentioned. Like we cut actually our page protector to make our pages more interactive. So I'm trying to get to one of those. Yeah. Okay. So I'm never going to get that put back together right. That's okay. I'm going to switch the camera so I can show you maybe a little bit better. We'll try. Oh, isn't that lovely? So this is here's April, right? So we did some stamping. All of this is stamping. We did some ink blending there. You can see that I didn't necessarily put down my photo protectors. I just put down the mats sometimes. This one is one that is interactive. So this is cut, this lifts up, and this folds up for another photo, or it could be journaling, right? So so much cool stuff. This is March. So here's March. You can see more ink blending, shading, right? See the little splatter stamp that we had. We used some ribbon. And then this is the February page. That would be, this, trying to zoom out a bit. It's just too big. But there's a little piece down here where it's stamped "Love This," and the heart opens to reveal another photo or some journaling. So we learned how to do all of those. So, super amazing event. I have no idea what order these need to go in now. I've got them all shuffled around. But, so there will be another virtual album retreat. We don't have dates yet for that, but I really encourage you, if you are a scrapbooker, to take a look at that and be watching for it. I'll certainly be posting about it. And if that style of event was so much fun that Stampin' Up! Is in January is going to offer a virtual card retreat. So it'll be same format as this. That will have videos that'll share initially on Facebook. Initially they're in English only, but then captions will be available in other languages once they move to YouTube. So it was a very exciting event. I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to get these all finished. And guys, this is a full album. This is 24 pages. It coordinates with a lot of the, well, it coordinates with all the colors, coordinate with colors we have in other suites and such, but it coordinates specifically. Some of the papers that we used were taken directly from designer series paper in the catalog. I didn't quite say that right, but we didn't have to do any of the cutting of the paper. All that was done when we got ready. We stamped, we blended, we followed along with whatever techniques they were teaching us, and it was a great event. Okay, so I think that's all I need to share with you all. Let's see what's happening next. We're at 1:35. Okay, there's a word search coming up next. I don't think you need the answers. Hopefully the answers aren't there, just the words that you're looking for. Maybe the next time I won't share everything at once, straight out of the gate. I don't know. I hope you're having fun. I'll be back at 3 o'clock, and we're going to take a look at the rest of the catalog. We're going to look at the bundles and the stamps, anything else to finish out the mini catalog before we move on to online exclusives. So thanks for being here. I hope that you're having a great day, and I will see you in about an hour and a half. Take care. Where's my finish? There it is.